All right, so we're back at it. Today is day 6 of the 30 Days of ML Challenge. I'm quickly catching up now. In this video, we're looking at strings and dictionaries within the Python course. So in this lesson, we will be learning how to work with strings and dictionaries, which are two fundamental Python data types. I hope you're comfy. Let's begin this lesson. So this lesson will look at two data types, strings and dictionaries. So a string is like a word or a sentence that's usually, so how you would know it's a string, it's in Python and in many other programming languages, it's they'll use an inverted comma or double quotation. So here we see two examples, but anyway, so these two are exactly the same thing. So as we can see here, if we test if x is equal to y, it will return a true because these two are the same. It doesn't really matter. Like when I usually prefer to use single quotation marks, but you can probably get away with using double quotation. So here we can see double quotation, double quotes are convenient if your string contains a single quote character representing an apostrophe. So here we can see there's an apostrophe S here. So in this particular scenario, this is when it becomes important which one of those two you use. So if you have an apostrophe, you want to use double quotation. Whereas if you have a double quotation in your string, you want to use a single quotation. So this is just to tell Python that, hey, my string has this particular thing, and so I'm using something else to cover my string. So if you have an apostrophe in your string, use a double quote. If you have a double quote in your string, use a single. Pretty straightforward, right? So yeah, just use whatever that's opposite to what you have in your string. So if we try to put a single quote, so if you try to force your way in, like say for example here we have a apostrophe S in our string, but we still use a single quote, this is when Python will get confused and will return an error. If you want to prevent this and not use the double quotes, what you can do is you do backslash before the apostrophe. If you do it this way, then Python will be able to tell that, okay, this is part of your string, and then you have the two single quotes at the beginning as well as the end to denote the start of the string as well as the end of the string. So here, I'm not going to go through it, so you can look at some examples here. This one, \n is a new line. So n stands for new line. So if you do this, this tells Python that you want to go into a new line. So here we have one \n 2 3. So we'll print 1 and then you'll go into a new line and then print 2 and 3. Yeah. So yeah, so \n represents a new line character. It causes Python to start a new line. So hello is hello \n world. So if you print hello, if you print this particular variable here, it'll print hello, go into a new line and then print world. Pretty simple, right? Triple quote, I haven't done this before. What's triple quote? In addition, Python's triple quote syntax for strings lets us include new lines literally. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is exactly the same as what we would do in doc strings. Remember, doc strings is a comment that you include as part of your function. So you would define your function, give a name to your function, the arguments, and then below that line you would do a doc string. It's always a good habit. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's a habit to write a doc string just to describe how your function works. And this is exactly how it works. So you do like triple quotation marks. So triple quotation tells Python that you don't have to do the \n thing. As long as you enter the new line as part of your string, it'll automatically recognize that you want a new line. So here we can see that we use a triple quote here, hello followed by a new line, world. So we don't want the world to be on the same line as hello. And as long as you have the triple quote, and if you write it this way, Python's smart enough to pick this up. So yeah, just bear in mind you need the triple quote. So if you go ahead and print that, yeah, they will appear as two lines. But this is just visual. In terms of value, like if you try to assess whether or not it's equal to hello, it is still true. Print function automatically adds a new line character unless we specify a value for the keyword argument n. Yeah, so if you don't want print to go into a new line, you have to explicitly specify in the n argument that you don't want to leave any space. As default, the n argument in the print function will assume that you want a new line. And so yeah, so if you don't want a new line, you have to explicitly tell Python that you want to, yeah, have no space, have a space, or whatever symbol that you want in between. You have to explicitly call it out. Strings are sequences. Yeah, so this is similar to the previous lesson that we looked at with lists. You can also do this with a string. So this is looking at this particular string here called Pluto, and we want to look at the first index, so index of 0, which is the first character, and so therefore we'll print out the capital letter P. So yeah, so all of these are exactly behaves the same way as you would with lists, which we looked at in the previous lesson. So here we want the last 3 characters, so U, T, and O, which is exactly what's printed out here. You can also apply the len function, which we looked at, which calculates how many elements are in the list. You can apply the len function to a string as well, which returns, which tells you how many characters are there in the word. So for example, Pluto has 5 characters, P, L, U, T, and O, and so here it returns a 5. You can loop through a string as well. And yeah, so this is the output. I'm not going to go through it. However, unlike the list, you cannot do assignment. So you can't do this. So you can't replace, say for example, you want to replace the first word capital P with a B. You can't do that. That's only available for a string. All right, cool. Yeah, so here we're going to look at like string methods, which is functions that you can apply to a string. The first one here is called upper. So upper turns everything into uppercase letters, so capital letters. So if we apply upper to the variable claim, which is a string, it'll turn everything into uppercase. You have dot lower, which is the opposite, it turns everything into lowercase. Index, so this will return the index of the word plan. 11, searching for the first index. So the reason why I think it's an 11 is because so let's say for example we start from 0, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, don't forget to include the space as well, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it'll return the first index, so P. So P is 11, so therefore 11 here. Starts with planet. Yeah, I'm not too sure what this one does. Yeah, you can, just look up, like just Google, like if anything you're not sure, you can just easily Google. Like if I don't know what a particular method does or what a function does, I just like Google it. Or you can use like help within Python if you don't want to Google. We're going to look at more methods now. We've got dot split. So dot split all the words. Say you have a string of words that are separated by a single space, you can actually split, and then it'll split all the words and put them into a list. So you have a list of elements of all the words, split by all the single space, pretty much. So here we look at an example of splitting it by single space. So sometimes you can actually split on other things other than a single space, but you have to specify what specifically you want Python to look for. Or what the split function to look for. So here we want to split the year, the month, and the day. But instead of single space, here we actually have a hyphen. So we want to tell split to focus on the hyphen. If you see a hyphen, I want you to split those 2 elements into that individual component. So here we want year as our first element. We want month as our second element, and we want the day as our final element. And I want you to split where the hyphen is. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Join is the opposite of split. So join is you need to specify a character in which you want to join the 3 elements together, and then you just do dot join, and then you put just pass in a list, and it will join the elements of the list together in string form. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can also do in a list comprehension way. I'm not going to go through this. Next we have dot format, which allows us to concatenate strings with the plus operator. Planet plus. Okay, you can go through that. I don't think that's too difficult. Yeah, I don't think this is too difficult as well. String. What is it trying to say here? if you want to throw in any non-string objects, we have to be careful to call string on them first. So position is a integer here, so it'll return an error because what you're trying to do here is create a string. And Python will return an error because it recognizes that this is not a string, and so therefore what you need to do before you can concatenate everything is to turn the 9 into a string rather than leaving it as an integer. So once you do that, yeah, Python can connect everything and concatenate everything. You can also do dot format. So this is pretty helpful, especially when you're trying to print a statement and you have a lot of variables that you want to print. All you need to do is just put these curly brackets. So these curly brackets will act as a placeholder in which where you want to place those variables. So say for example, here we have 2 placeholders, and you do dot format, and then you just list all the variables that you want to show up in sequence. So say for example, I want to, this is the first placeholder. I want you to put what planet it is, and then this second placeholder I want you to put the position, and so you just list them out as so within the brackets of the format method. You can also do with the format, you can also do you can also specify how many decimal places you want. Yeah, so this is how you would do that. It's pretty, I'm not going to go through it. I think it's straightforward enough to for you guys to figure out yourself. Okay, cool. All right, we're just gonna move on to dictionaries. So dictionaries is a data structure. It's another type of data structure. So in the previous video, we looked at a list. A list is a type of data structure. So dictionary is another type of data structure. And what's so special about dictionary is that it exists as a key value pair. And what I mean by that is in all the dictionaries that you see, will have a key, and then you'll have a value. You'll have a key and a value, a key and a value. So yeah, so this is the key, I guess, the important feature of a dictionary. All the elements within a dictionary exist in a key value pair. So it always has a key, and corresponding value that is attached to that particular key. Yeah, so here we can see that 1, 2, and 3 in string form. So these 3, so 1, 2, and 3 are called keys. Whereas 1, 2, and 3 in the number form are their corresponding values. Yeah, so here if we access, if we call the word 1, it will return the corresponding value that corresponds to the word 1. Yeah. We can use the same syntax. So if we want to add another key to the dictionary, this is how we do it. We can also change the value that's assigned to a particular key. So here we want to change the value 1 that is assigned to the key 1. We want to change the put-on. This is how we do it. What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You can also use a for loop. So this is turning a list into a dictionary, which I won't go through. I think this is, you know what, I will go through. Let's go through this. So for planet in planets. Yeah, so in the previous video, I mentioned how I like to interpret a list comprehension is looking at where the for loop is. So this is where I will look out for. So what this is telling me is we want to loop through every single planet in this list. And what do we need to do? We want to take the planet, and then we want to do a semicolon. So this should jump out that we're trying to create a dictionary here. And another thing that you should pay attention to is this curly brackets. So those two things probably gave away that we're trying to create a dictionary. So the dictionary should take the form of, so the key is the actual name of the planet, and as a result you'll get something like this. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. This is similar to a list, so you can check whether Saturn is in that dictionary. Yeah, so this is very similar to a list. You can do this, and because this one is not in that dictionary, it'll return a false. Beautiful. For K, yeah, so this is demonstrating numbers. A for loop over a dictionary will loop over its keys. Yeah, so this is the numbers dictionary. So if we look through numbers and print K in the first placeholder equal to numbers K. So K is the key. if you want to access the value, you have to do numbers, square bracket, the name of the key, and then it'll print out the value. Yeah, so this is how you do it. Pretty good. We can access a collection of all keys or all values with dict.keys and dict.values respectively. You can also join. Yeah, so if you want specifically the keys, you have to do dot keys. If you want specifically the values, you have to do dot values. So here we want to create a string that joins all the values in the dictionary together, and we want to sort them in alphabetical order. So this is what it's trying to do. And we want to join, and we want to create a single space for to separate each one of those unique values. The very useful dot items, so this is another method, dot items, allows us to iterate over the keys and values of a dictionary simultaneously. Yeah, so here we're creating two variables, and if we do dot items, this will actually return two things simultaneously. So it will return the key as well as the corresponding value. Beautiful. So that is the end of day 6, the lesson for day 6. We're going to move on now to the exercise. So let's now look at the exercise for the strings and dictionary lesson 6 of the Python course. Let me just go ahead and run the cell to set up. All right, let's look at question 0a. Let's start with a string lightning round to warm up. What are the lengths of the string below? For each of the 5 strings below, I can't speak. Predict what length the length function will return when passed that particular string. Use the variable length to record your answer. Cool. So here the length would be 0 because there's nothing in the string. Let me just check that. Beautiful. Starting off nice and easy. So how many characters? What is the length for this particular string? So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the length should be 7. Easy. This one is the third one. So we have 1, 2. This one's a little bit tricky. I was tempted to count this one, but I'm pretty sure we have to ignore this one because this is just to account for the apostrophe. So it should be 1, 2, ignoring this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think it's 7. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 7. Beautiful. It is 7. All right, question 0D. Is it 3? Is it just the word hey? I actually don't know. Let's see what the explanation is. The fact that this string was created using we just learned this, triple quote. So yeah, so it'll just count whether it's in this. I don't know why my brain wasn't working. Yeah, so it's just the word hey. So the 3 characters in the word hey, the 3 letters in the word hey, so it's just 3. I don't know why it's not working. This one, I believe it's 0. This is just a new line. Actually, is it 1? 1 or 0? A new line character. Maybe a 1? Yeah, beautiful. All right, let's start with question 1. There's a saying that data scientists spend 80% of the time cleaning data. Having worked for the past month and a half, I can confirm that's true. I spend a lot of time cleaning data, and 20% of the time complaining about cleaning data. Also true, probably more than 20%. Let's see if you can write a function to help clean US zip code data. Given a string, it should return whether or not that string represents a valid zip code. For our purposes, a valid zip code is any string consisting of exactly 5 digits. String has a method that will be useful here. Use help string to reveal a list of string methods. A string is numeric if all characters in the string are numeric. I feel like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna do is digits. Is it is digit or is digits? Is digit. All right. So we need to check for 2 things. The first thing we need to check for is making sure that the zip code is 5 characters long. The second thing we need to make sure is zip code dot is digit. Zip code with a underscore, not a dot. Yeah, I think this is it. Let's just run this. Oh wait, I need to uncomment my check so that I can. Beautiful, nice. Cool. Let's move on to question 2. A researcher has gathered thousands of news articles, but she wants to focus her attention on articles including a specific word. Complete the function below to help her filter her list of articles. Your function should meet the following criteria. So there are 3 criteria here. Do not include documents where the keyword string shows up only as part of a larger word. For example, if she were looking for the keyword closed, you would not include the string enclosed. So you want the specific word, okay? She does not want you to distinguish uppercase from lowercase. So all the words should be treated equally. Do not let periods or commas affect what is matched. It is close, but you can assume there's no other types of punctuation. Ooh, okay. All right, let's look at the Dictionaries to get a better sense of what they want. So, so our function will take 2 arguments, one called doc_list and the other called keyword. All documents containing the word. Okay, so this one will return a 0 because this first element has the word casino in it. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So definitely there's going to be some for loop involved because there's a list. We need something to loop through every single element of that list. You know what? I give up. I'm just going to use enumerate. I'm going to copy how they do it. I doc in enumerate. I want to pass in my doc list, and then tokens. So for each sentence, for each string within the doc list, I want to split them into a list that contains elements. So this would form my first element, second element, and so on. So tokens is equal to dot split, and then what did they do? And they create a variable called normalize, which loops through every single word in that list, and then strip the token dot strip these 2 characters and then turn them into lowercase letter for token in tokens. And once we do that, we want to create an if statement, right? If what's it called? If keyword dot lower is in normalize, res dot append I, and then once you loop through everything, I want you to return res. Is this it? Blah 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 blah. This looks correct, right? If keyword dot lower is in normalize. Yep. Beautiful. Cool. Yeah, the answer helped me quite a bit, so I probably shouldn't take credit for it. Question number 3, now the researcher wants to supply multiple keywords to search for rather than just one keyword. Complete the function below to help her. You're encouraged to use the word search function you just wrote then to implement this function. Reusing code in this way makes your program more robust and readable. It saves typing as well. All right, so say for example, we have 2 words now. So wouldn't we just like loop through each keyword for keyword in keywords and then just call on the function that we already have? I think it could work. Return dictionary keyword, and then we want to just call on the function, right? What's the function called? Word search. We want to pass in the dot list and the specific keyword itself. So what my program is saying is loop through each keyword in the keywords that would form the key in our dictionary, because that's what we want. So this, for example, here we have 2 keywords to look for, casino and they. I want you to assign the keyword as the key, And then for the corresponding value, I want you to use the previous function that I've just created. Look at the dot list, and then have a look and see if keyword is in that dot list, and return the index, which is what we've already done, so we don't have to repeat ourselves in writing the function. I think this should work. Yeah, and I can probably write this in a more concise way using list comprehension, but let's just see if this is correct or not, and then we can work on this. Oh, it's incorrect. I think we have to use list comprehension. Let's just use for keyword in keywords. This should work, I think. This should work now. Beautiful, nice. All right, I hope you learned something, and watching me struggle with this. Yeah, this exercise is quite tricky. I'm personally not the best person when it comes to string, although I have been, I do a lot with text in during my work, so I have been learning quite a bit, but I'm using most of them in I'm doing most of my like text cleaning, anything that has to do with text, I'm mostly using in R. So yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm currently also learning regex, regular expression, which is like next level when it comes to like string, when it comes to like pattern recognition, like what sort of thing you want to look for. I'm still working on that. I'm not, I have to admit, I'm not the most sophisticated or the most like advanced when it comes to string. So I definitely learned something. I hope you did as well. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe to my channel. I am gonna now move on to the next lesson, but I'll keep it, I think I'm gonna put it into a separate video. So yes, definitely subscribe to my channel, drop a like on this video as well if you enjoy videos like this. I'll keep going. Hopefully I can persist and push through all the way until the end of the 30 days of ML challenge by Kaggle. But yeah, subscribe to my channel, drop a like, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.